I found something. In this box is something that I did not know that I still had. Amongst things that I knew I did have. The majority of things in this box are my old cards from elementary school up until middle school. Most of these range from early 90s to late 90s. But there is one thing among them that is not the same. This one here. Quick backstory to explain what this is. So if you saw one of my very, very old videos, one of my oldest videos actually, from when I started the channel, I had done a sketchbook tour. This was back when I was still learning how to make videos and trying to get ideas of quick things to make so I could get used to, video editing and stuff like that. If you have not seen that video, I'll leave a link, but a bunch of stuff like that. This book in particular was stuff that I had drawn at work. I take the sketchbook with me. You can see that's a mannequin from Silent Hill 2. I believe this one was inspired by RoboCop 2. But anyway, in this video, I had mentioned that I had lost a ton of my art. Not to go into long story again, I think I do mention it in that video. I had an episode and I was going through, well, let's say a lot of episodes, where I would take all of my artwork that I had done, that I found, just threw it all away, everything. Everything that I had done as a kid, teenage years into that point in time, or right then and there. That whole thing led the entire way to me deleting all of my animations off the internet, all the websites that I had. But sob story aside, I think that the last thing I have remaining from those years was this sketchbook here. I had drawn on the cover of one of my notebooks for school. This was probably, I want to say 11th grade, 10th or 11th grade. But this is full of drawings. The reason I still have this, the reason I never threw this away in those fits, was because I thought this was just another folder binder of cards, but it's not. All of these seem to stem from early middle school, 6th and 7th grade, maybe some 8th, but I think it's mostly somewhere around 7th grade. So I figure let's go through this and see if there's anything cool and maybe redraw something. A little bit of a now and then drawing skill thing. I don't draw as much as I used to, so this will be interesting. But I do believe my skills are still a lot better than they were when I was in 7th grade. So let's open this thing up and see what we got. So here I was testing out drawing feet. Looks like there's actually, is there multiple things in this sleeve? Yeah, but yeah, I think I'd gotten an art book at some point to teach you how to draw anatomy, and I was using it as reference on how to draw feet. What? Okay, I'm gonna admit I did skim through this, but I did not notice that there's multiple images or multiple pictures in one sleeve. All right, so actually I'm gonna flip the rest of these upside down because I just got a glimpse of something that I forgot that I drew. Okay, so this is definitely, I think I know what it is now. It's Cupid. He's getting shot down by his own arrow. How was I feeling at that point? Okay, I'm seeing some silhouettes of Silent Hill stuff. Oh my god. This had to have been high school. This is from Silent Hill 4. Because that came out in 2004. I would have just graduated. This would have been right after high school. Huh. I don't remember putting these in here. Somebody else must have grabbed them and tucked them away. Probably my mom. Okay, no candidates yet. But that Silent Hill 4 one was actually pretty cool. I like that. All right, so where does this actually begin? Holy shit, there's more here than I thought. Okay, so let's start off. Some of these might be redrawings too. Let's see. Just some eyes. I don't know what this would have been. Probably from just some random goth sites. If you cannot tell what I was. A mouse on a mouse. Where did I even get a picture of a mouse from to draw from? Or did I have a picture of a mouse? I don't know. There's no dates on these. This one might have actually been... Yeah, some of this actually is right after high school. So it's more than just middle school stuff. Interesting. But yeah, because this was... So I used to play a lot of Final Fantasy 11. And I would draw while I was like looking for group and stuff like that. That's if I wasn't just straight up working on Flash animations too. I was either drawing pictures for my Link shell, or I was also, yeah, hence the Chocobo. This one I did actually sign. Let's see if I can get that up close. Yeah. This. What would have that been from? I have facial hair, so that was definitely... I was either 18 or 19. Yeah, we're not doing any self-portraits, don't worry. Oh, jeez. Okay, I gotta show this one off. With Mr. Vin Diesel himself. I had drawn this one for a friend of mine. I think her mom was obsessed with Vin Diesel, and for her birthday, she wanted me to draw a picture of Vin Diesel. I thought I gave it to her. Maybe I gave her a copy. I don't know, but yeah, here it is. Oh shit! Yeah, this was holy crap. Show this one off here. Yeah. But yeah, this would have been Lady Death from the Chaos Comics run, back before Chaos Comics went bankrupt and sold all their stuff to everybody. If you haven't noticed already, probably not with this, but with the comic book collection or comic cards and stuff, growing up as a kid, I wanted to be a comic book artist. That's where it started out at least. Ooh. This had to have been either early high school or late middle school. Because this is based off of one of the booklets from Rob Zombie's self-titled album. I was a huge White Zombie fan back then. Still am, I guess. I mean, not as much as I was back then, but like the album, had a lot of good photos and art in the album book. So this was for Living Dead Girl, I believe. Oh, this is a classic. I don't think this is dated, but I know for a fact this is either late 7th grade, early 8th grade. But yeah, this was one of my favorite drawings I had done back then. Yeah, this one I thought was actually gone. Yeah, probably out of all this, if anything means anything to me more, like, it's going to be this one here. Yeah, this was definitely 7th grade. Back in the 90s, the Satanic Panic. Basically, if you did not toe the line in any way, shape, or form, Bible people were all over you. Everything was the devil. I mean, anything you heard about how bad things were back then in that era is 100% Drew, like if not more so. Just the fact that I liked metal, industrial music, that alone was enough to tip off the insanely religious folks in my area. I heard a lot from these people, and this image was in their honor. That was dedicated to them. Oh, jeez. Oh, I love this picture. If I remember right, this is mostly charcoal. It doesn't mean anything. I think it's just hilarious. The Cookie Monster is hanging up by ropes, I guess, and he's in a crucifix pose. He's got guts hanging out underneath him. I believe that's a crown of thorns, and I don't know why, but I gave him a lip piercing as well. Oh my god, I love this picture so much. There's probably, if I remember right, there's actually a handful of charcoal images in here. I was messing around with the medium. Not the best thing to have with these sleeves because the charcoal gets all over that, but I guess the only other thing would be to laminate it. This was 9th grade. I think I'd just gotten the first Slipknot album. It had just come out, and I think I was sitting in the hallway actually drawing this. I don't remember what I was doing there. We were doing something and I was not paying attention, and I was just drawing the entire time. Seems like a lot of these things are from 9th grade. Ooh, Abe. This started as a pencil drawing, and then I think it went to ink and marker. If you look really closely, I had a goof right there, and I had to use some whiteout to fix that up. Oh, no idea who this person was. So I'm going to show this. This person will never see this if they even still exist. So something I used to do to work on my portraits back in the day. So back in the AOL Instant Messenger era chat rooms, I would get into the chat rooms and I would, it was like, I think it might have been like art chat rooms or something. And I would tell people, it's like, hey, I draw, anyone want to send me a portrait? I'll draw it and I'll send it back to you. And the handful of people who actually did, why would you send pictures out to strangers on the internet? It was the Wild West, I guess. But I was genuine about it. They would send me their photos and then I would draw them and then I'd send it back to them. There's a handful of these. I don't know if I have them all still, but she was one of them. This was in 2000, so that would have been 9th grade again. These are all over the place. What is this based on? I want to say, okay, so this is becoming more of a tour book than I thought. I can't even get it in the right light. There. I want to say this was based on some comic book. Not a comic book that I had. So I had a subscription to Wizard magazine. So not only was I like buying comics and cards and stuff like that, I also had Wizard magazine, so I was constantly staying on top of comics. Like I said, growing up, I wanted to be a comic book artist. So I was living and breathing everything comics and constantly drawing. This was, I believe, in one of the issues when they were talking about some comic. And I was like, okay, the flowy dress, well, not the flowy dress, but you know what I mean, the background, the landscape. I was like, I want to try this and give it a shot. And the end result was actually pretty good. I don't know what year this was, but I'm gonna say, if I was in high school, I was in 9th grade. If I wasn't, it was probably middle school. So I'm gonna put it 8th, 9th grade probably. That's pretty good. Charcoal crow. I want to say, yeah, I had a lot of Gothic books. Like, I don't even know what they were even about. Like Gothic magazines. So there was a lot of like Gothic art, Gothic fashion, stuff like that. I think a lot of these images were those kind of things, and then I just redrew them. Does look like her hand is backwards there. She has two left hands, or two right hands actually. Never claimed to be good. Oh yeah, this was there was a series of comic books. I don't remember what they were called. Like, I remember what it was called. It was called Dawn, but I want to say it was either in the same franchise as the Sandman series or in that same circle. I can't remember what the context was. I never read the comics. I always saw them like in Wizard magazine, and I was like, okay, the images look good. It's like, I want to draw this. Never read the comics though, so for all I know, it's probably garbage. This was 9th grade. I know that for sure, because we were doing an art project, and I can't remember exactly what the art project was, but the teacher I had all through high school, our art teacher, I hated her to death. She never let me do anything that I wanted. Looking at my previous images so far, I'm kind of seeing why. Everything I did, she had to pre-approve before I could actually do it. But for some reason, this image she allowed. I don't know why. She obviously had to have known who Marilyn Manson was, so why? I don't know. This had to have been based off of something else. Like, look at the details up here of like the little fire and then the explosions out in the end and the characters. This had to have been a panel from a comic book. And then I redrew the characters. I did this a lot. It was, so what I would do, I would find interesting poses and I would draw the poses out to, you know, work on my anatomy. And then I would just turn it into something else. Plagiarism, kind of, but I was a kid and I was learning. I don't know what grade this would have been, but I'm going to say probably 8th, 9th grade. Oh my god, there was more of these. I thought there was maybe 2, but I don't remember the Elmo. There was a whole series of these. Oh my god, please tell me there's more in here. We must see. The whole series of... Why? Oh, Witchblade. It's not bad. 2000 out of been 9th grade. Witchblade was pretty cool. Oh, I never actually read the comics of that either, did I? Weird. Alright, so I guess that's it. Okay, so I don't know how many of these I will do yet, but our first one, or the only one, I don't know yet, I'm going to do this. Probably means the most to me, and see if I can improve upon it, maybe. We'll see. Before I start though, I need to figure out my pose. Composition and all that crap. I'm not entirely sure what my thought process is on it yet. Do I want to incorporate the same ideas, same emotions? I don't know yet. But what I am going to do, use a scrap piece of paper, draw out a couple different ideas, see which one I like, and then we'll make the full thing. I did like the first sketch, the screaming and pulling of the skin from the neck. It was cool, but it didn't fit the character from the original drawing. In the original, the idea was that the character was numb to the pain and empty inside, and they were just picking away. Plus, the skin around the neck was already partially removed in the original drawing, so this sketch didn't really make that much sense as a continuation. So with the second sketch, not only did I have to keep in mind the character, but I also had to keep in mind where pieces of skin were already torn off and what would be torn off next. Okay, so I think I finally came down with what I wanted. Didn't take me long. Show it here on the camera if I can. This thing's not picking up light too well. But yeah, the idea I had was try and do like a continuation on it. Figure it's probably been at least 25 years since I drew this picture. Yeah, so I figured that was then, this is now. We're doing a now and then photo. Might as well do the same with the photo. Have the image be a representation of future events of that photo. Make it all come around full circle, the concept at least. Okay, so yes, I have what I want, so let's try and draw it. When starting a drawing out, I always draw with the lightest lines possible. This allows me to fine-tune all of my proportions before I lay down anything heavy. Throughout this first step, I'm constantly erasing parts of the body over and over again until I get things exactly how I want. So there's a lot of erasing and redrawing constantly over and over until I get it exactly how I want. And as my proportions get closer and closer to what I want, I'll start adding things like muscles and other things like that. Even though the character probably won't have those muscles in the end, I still like to draw them out so that I can get an idea of really what definitions are in those parts of the body, so that I can get an idea of how things are lined up right or the right length and whatnot. The more you understand what's underneath the skin of a body, the easier it is for you to understand the proportions of how everything works and looks on the outside. It's kind of a gruesome idea, but it helps. Okay, so we're finally making some progress. I'm still working on getting the posture down. I guess the posture's down. What I'm really doing right now, I guess, is fine-tuning the proportions, getting everything looking just right. Not doing any details or any hard lines until I get that down. Otherwise, once you start putting down details, you're at the point of no return, you can't go back. So keeping everything light right now, trying to get all those little angles and everything just right. That said, right now the hands are giving me the worst problem. Like I said, it's been a while since I've actually drawn. I don't draw that much like I used to, and hands have always been the hardest thing. I really do need to go back and start practice drawing hands again. It has been a while. Usually the rule of thumb is if you can't draw hands, hide them. Put them in a pocket or put them behind the character. You ever see somebody doing that with a lot of their characters, you know that they cannot draw hands. But I'm getting close. I should also mention that if you notice as I'm drawing, what I'm doing is like I'll take the thing and then I'll flip it this way, work on my proportions, my angles, take it this way, do the same thing. The reason I do that is that if you're drawing something that's supposed to be 3D in a two-dimensional form, it should still look proportionately correct from whatever angle you have this. So if you're looking at it this way, and this way, it should still look proportionately correct as it is when you're looking at it this way. So when you're doing your light lines and working on your proportions, that's a great way to fine-tune those proportions. After you get everything figured out, looking good this way, flip it upside down. Look at it. If something doesn't look right, that's because it's not right. Try and fix it. And then when you're done, look at it in another angle. Does it look right then? Yes, no, well, adjust it if needed. Eventually, your proportions will start looking better. Figuring out the lengths of everything and how far away it is from the camera. I guess you wouldn't really call it a camera, would you? The mind's camera, the canvas camera, I don't know. But yes, that's what I'm doing. I figure one or two more passes on the proportions, and I should have that to where I want. And then once that's done, we can finally start doing the details. And once I'm happy with my proportions enough, then I start laying down my hard lines. These still aren't technically like hard lines. I'd consider them more to be like middle grade lines. Not super light, but also not something that I can't still erase. These are to start laying down the fine lines where I can actually start seeing detail and finally start seeing how things are actually going to look. I'm still not adding any details yet. This is still mainly just focusing on the character and their proportions. Only once the body starts looking good, then I'll start working on the face, the fingers, the expressions, the fine lines for the muscles, collarbone, all that stuff. Once that starts looking correct, then I'll start adding the detail, which would be the rips in the skin and the pulling of the flesh. In terms of the skin tears, getting the folds and the hanging bits just right. There's a lot of understanding of like fabric and things like that, how certain things will fold, have weight, thickness to them, stuff like that. That alone takes practice to figure out, and a good understanding of how that kind of stuff hangs. Same with the bottom, at the base of the body. The parts need to kind of fold and bend in certain ways to support the weight of that body. So there's an understanding of that too. A lot of small little things to constantly always be aware of, and how they all interact with each other. And with the line work for the details done, then I moved on to the shading. My technique for shading is kind of weird. I'm sure other people do it too. What I do is I outline my shaded parts first before I do any actual fill-ins. So I'll outline everything to kind of an idea of where my light's supposed to be and what's not illuminated. And I'll more or less be circling the highlights of where the light actually is. And then for the shaded parts, I'll fill that in with much lighter passes with the pencil, similar to what I did with my first pass of the drawing for the outlines, with really light strokes. And then finally, I'll go over the lines one more time in case there was anything I needed to fix, touch up, or just give one more pass to make it a little bit darker and pronounced. All right, so our line work is now done. Looks okay, I guess. I'm my worst critic, so I always think everything I draw and make sucks, so it is what it is. That said, I mean, I have made a decent amount of improvements from the original. Proportions seem a lot better. Hands look okay. I am now currently debating whether or not I do anything else. I can grab a pen, I can touch up some lines. I'm a little scared to do that. Might just leave it there at that and call it a drawing. Guess it means the only thing left to do then is to sign it for now. All right, well, thanks for watching. It has been a while since I actually sat down and drew anything, and I don't draw like I used to, so this is a pretty good exercise too, just to get back into it. If you want me to do more drawing videos, let me know. I could fill this whole thing up for you. But that said, I'm okay with the way this turned out. I'm not gonna praise it and say it's the best thing ever. Face needs some work. Proportions, arms, body, I'm okay with that. If anything, I might want to, I mean, towards the end I was contemplating just erasing the whole head and just starting over, but once I started adding some shading, it started to come along better, so it is what it is. So that said, I have other projects to do. This was a nice little filler bit. I will see you in the next one.